Thank you, Wendell. Wendell Riley was the person up here. He's head of our marketing communications, and thank you for that. As Wendell just told you, unfortunately, we've had to separate you out. We have capacity rules we have to go by. We've measured out our chairs, just like we do in our classroom, to keep the spacing. We're taking pictures for contact tracing for the audience, just to help for if anything should happen. We don't believe anything will. We're glad to see that you have your sticker. Thank you. We have that on the outer perimeter of our campus so that we can again try to keep on top of the COVID situation. So we thank all of you for being here today. This is a very special day for us. The space that you're in, if you go back far enough, when I came here in 1981, this was the library. I was here from 81 to 94, business school dean from 85 to 94. This was the library. And then it became the bookstore, 10,000 square feet of the bookstore. And now the bookstore is back over in the University Center as being the Barnes & Noble running. We got out of the bookstore business. We weren't very good at it, but we had 10,000 square feet here. And with this 10,000 square feet, we decided that we wanted to do something very different. We want to look to see the white spaces. That we are very fortunate, especially in Northwest Louisiana, to have a number of educational institutions. We did not need to try to become Louisiana Tech. They're damn good at what they do. We don't need to try to replicate to be what they are. We look for white space. We look for white space versus Northwestern State. We look for ways to augment what Southern University and Bossier Parish Community College are doing, to augment and collaborate and work with them. And so that's what we have attempted to do. And this space that you're in, the cyber collaboratory space with the hologram table that's back behind Chancellor Golly, back behind there, the hologram wall over here, the number of things that you would find here if we could take you around and show you off are pretty amazing. And we've had Barksdale Air Force Base being here on campus with us in several different things that they've done, and even in fabrication that they were looking at, that we did something back with that 3D printer back there that will print you a Julie Lessiter, who will be up here earlier. That height can be printed off in a 3D printer back there. And so the hologram table that's back behind Chancellor Golly, there's only 3 universities in the country presently with a hologram table. One of them is right back in there. So we're looking for those things, again, to differentiate, to find our white space, to be able to collaborate, and that's what it's all about. But it takes, while we have put a lot of money into it, we were very fortunate with AEP SWEPCO, put a $300,000 grant here, and you'll hear from our chair of our LSUS Foundation, who's at SWEPCO as well in a few minutes. But it also is very important to take the programs, what we want to do to get to K-12, both with the teachers and with the students, and to do the other kinds of things of connecting, as I was just talking about, with having the interaction with Barksdale, for example, occurring here, with General Dynamics IT, for what we want to be doing there as well. These kinds of relationships we need to build require capital. They require capital. And Louisiana Economic Development is just an amazing, amazing organization within this state. No matter whether you're red or blue, and we've been through an election which has been all about red and blue, Louisiana Economic Development has been a rock for the state of Louisiana in what it has done over time. And especially in the last 4 years, it's been amazing in how they have expanded into the partnership linkages in terms of, it began, and now with what is known as GDIT, but it began with what Louisiana Tech did, the leadership, and then Les Geist brought in others of us, so that Rick Gallo at Grambling and we came in thanks to further expansion made possible by Louisiana Economic Development. That is what this state needs. This is what this state has to have with jobs. And so when Angie White's with the NLEP and looking at jobs training and all, how all these pieces come together, it's got to happen. And so this is part of that success that we're going to be talking about today. And we're so appreciative, Mr. Secretary, for the grant that was funded. And so let's get on with it. We also are very happy because I mentioned that I left here in 1994. There's not been a sitting governor who has been on this campus for an event associated with LSUS since the last Governor Edwards. I don't know if it's an Edwards thing. Hopefully we won't have to wait for a third Edwards. But we're very, very pleased that this governor, Governor John Bell Edwards, who's been a tremendous friend for higher education. The state has never been flush with dollars during his 4 years up until now, and it probably won't be now in the next 4 years. But through it all, he's been very, very supportive, very strong for higher education, as well as with K-12 as well. And so we're very pleased to have him here. But before I call him up, I was waiting to see, because I had a text message, I was just trying to see if one other state representative was going to make it in. I'm going to go ahead and introduce, if I may, because I don't think it's going to happen. So let me introduce the other elected officials who are here in the room, if I may. Senator Beryl Peacock, and I want to say especially, if you want to see out in the back, and you'll see through the doorway there a lot of temporary air handling equipment, and goes back there. Senator Peacock, thank you for, in the last bill that was in the special session for $22 million, thank you, Governor, that you did not line item veto it, was $540,000, because this technology center, unfortunately, when we went to repurpose the building and repurpose space, these are temporary. You see up here, that's all temporary to make this area work, and the humidity problem we got into. And that was in the bill, and so we thank for that, but Beryl Peacock led with that. Representative Tammy Phelps came in along with her daughter, and thank you for what you have done. Representative Thomas Presley is here, and thank you. We had a couple others that we were expecting that would be here, but I haven't seen them. If I've missed it, if there's any other legislator or senator. Okay. We also have, I want to introduce to you from board members from LSU Board of Supervisors. Ramey Starnes is the chair-elect of the LSU board. He's seated over here. Wayne Brown, you know from this region very well. Wilbert Pryor is here from the Board of Regents. Wilbert, thank you for being here. Stone Cox is here, and he's a student member of the Board of Supervisors. And he, as I've said to someone today, he's not a nominal member. He's a very serious, engaged member, and it's terrific to have the student role. And the fact that he would come up here today honors us so much. And he's been with Tyson Lee, who's our SGA president. Tyson, why don't you shake? He's our SGA president. You may be seeing Tyson on TV. He's our rock star. He's on TV talking about COVID for our students. But we also have Supervisor Randy Morris is here, and Supervisor Valencia Sarpi-Jones, who is from Natchitoches and nearby. So thank you as well. I want to give a shout out to Susie Schoen. She worked with Julie Lessiter, who wrote the grant that made this possible. Susie was phenomenal in how she helped us in terms of what we did, encouraging at every step to say, how can we connect with K-12? How can we connect with our other educational partners? How about don't just do it alone? Don't be John Wayning it. Just find ways to collaborate as well. And again, I salute for that happening. We have here Lamar Gorey, who is Cato Schoolos, and thank you, Lamar, for being here. And my colleague, Gali is back over here, the Chancellor at LSU Health Shreveport. Thank you, sir, for you being here as well. The room, because we were limited to how many seats that we could have, and every one of you should be introduced, but I'm going to now stop and ask if Governor Edwards would come forward. I don't think we need anything else. Congratulations, sir, on being our governor for the next 4 years, and thank you for everything that you've done for higher education in particular and for Shreveport in particular.
Thank you, Chancellor. I appreciate the introduction and the work you're doing here. And thank all of you for coming out today. You know, it is a little bit inconvenient when you restrict how many people can be in a room and you ask people to follow protocols and mitigation measures, but it's also very important. So I appreciate the fact that you all are taking COVID-19 seriously, because there are a lot of people who are tired of it. The virus doesn't care. And you can see what's happening around the country today. And so I'm just asking everybody to really, you know, develop the patience that is needed. We're going to eventually get past this. You've seen some good news about vaccines, but it's going to take a number of months before they're produced and administered in the numbers that we need to make a real difference. But we're going to get there. In the meantime, following the protocols, the mitigation measures, is really, really important. Real quick, and I wasn't going to talk about COVID, but we've added 56 in the hospital over the last 7 days. Another addition coming today. I don't know exactly how big it is. You've got 188 of those. So we've got right around 660 in the hospital around the state. 188 of them are in Shreveport. So you need to be mindful of that and increasing positivity as well. So what you're seeing playing out around the country is coming here to Louisiana. So thank you, Chancellor Clark, for your welcome. I am very pleased to be in LSU, Shreveport today. I haven't done a lot of traveling since March, but it's good to be back up here today, and I'm so glad that we were able to make it. This is one of the fastest, in fact, not one of the fastest, this is the fastest growing higher education campus in the state of Louisiana, LSU Shreveport. That's a tremendous accomplishment, and it's a great reflection on the visionary leadership here, but also the partnerships that you have developed over the past 6 years plus, really since your return to the campus, Chancellor. In that amount of time, the enrollment here at LSU Shreveport has more than doubled. The enrollment is nearly 10,000 now, and I'm excited not just about the undergraduate enrollment, but the growth in your graduate programs and enrollment. 3,100 new graduate students enrolled at LSUS this fall. Think about that. That's a phenomenal figure. It ties in with what we're here to celebrate. If career-focused learning is paramount on college campuses today, and I think we all believe that it is, technology is obviously an essential foundation for that learning. So this is an impressive repurposed facility, the LSU Shreveport Cyber Collaboratory. Its mission is to harness the power of technology and infuse the learning of every student with cutting-edge career skills. The scope of the equipment here is really breathtaking, and we're going to tour it after a while, and I'm excited about seeing it. But the holographic technology, large-scale 3D printing, cybersecurity visualization tools, wireless virtual reality, augmented reality headsets, high-performance computers with advanced graphics. But the point is this. Students at LSU Shreveport with these tools can successfully compete against students from anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world. And it happens right here on this campus. So this cyber collaboratory is a visionary place where students can come and learn to solve real-world challenges with industry and for industry. And speaking of solving challenges, while I was in the green room earlier, there was a math problem on the whiteboard. I went ahead and worked it out. So you can have somebody check my work later. So as you know, the Shreveport-Bossier City area is the western front for the I-20 cyber corridor, which is emerging really as one of our nation's great technology hubs. And you would be surprised probably at how often when of course we haven't done much of this the last 6 months or so, but when I'm in Washington, D.C. meeting with other governors and meeting with federal officials, how they talk about what we have going on the I-20 corridor. Well, I want to commend Chancellor Clark and Vice Chancellor Julie Lessiter, the entire leadership team for creating a state-of-the-art technology hub through a prior $750,000 investment that is going to increase that cyber corridor along I-20, make it much more powerful and sort of anchor it here in Shreveport in a way that hasn't happened up to today. And I'm also proud to announce that the state of Louisiana through LED, and thank you, Don, and your team for all the work you're doing, going to provide a $1.2 million performance-based grant to LSU Shreveport. And this is going to ignite student, faculty, and industry learning in this facility. So we've got the LSU Shreveport putting up 750, 1.2 come from the state LED, and I'm also pleased, very pleased to announce that LSU Shreveport will match the $1.2 million grant with $2 million in university funding as part of an overall $3.2 million cooperative endeavor agreement. So that's what we're celebrating here today, $3.2 million. So this CEA is going to add additional tools, technology, equipment, faculty, enhanced curricula, new programming, educational partnerships to make LSUS a unique place, a place where students can learn, the latest in computer science, analytics, data visualization, cyber systems, and other STEM subjects. A place that empowers students to collaborate for career success. And I don't want to place added pressure on Chancellor Clark, but for what is a stellar record of enrollment growth, but we expect that growth is going to continue and accelerate because of freshman applications due to their interest in STEM careers. I think it's grown by 70% here at LSU Shreveport, largely because of the CEA and the partnership with LED. So that's what we're looking for. Great things will be accomplished here at LSU Shreveport because of this bold new facility, representing a collective investment of more than $4 million in technology education. And I guess what impresses me the most is that LSUS plans for each one of its students, every student, to benefit from this cyber collaboratory. So whether you want to study history or a foreign language or public relations, whatever it is you're going to do at LSU Shreveport, you're going to benefit from this facility. And that is incredibly important. And that gets back to that visionary leadership that we talked about before. So Louisiana is becoming a leader in preparing our students for the best jobs of tomorrow. Over the past decade, our state has invested more than $300 million above and beyond regular higher education funding in public-private partnerships to boost careers in technology and advanced manufacturing. And already we are seeing more than 20,000 new jobs yielded by these partnerships with employers like CenturyLink, GDIT, IBM, CGI, Sasol, DXC Technology, and many others. And LSU Shreveport is and will continue to be a major contributor to this success. So we're thrilled to celebrate this new facility with you and to contribute towards your growth as one of Louisiana's leading universities. And I want to thank you again for the opportunity to be here. And I want to pleasure, we're going to continue to look for new opportunities going forward to even strengthen more what we're doing here so that everybody who comes on this campus has the opportunity to be a superstar like Tyson Lee. He was one of my fellows, by the way. He was one of my fellows in the program that we've been running over the last few years and just did a tremendous job there. And I know his future is very bright, but the future of an awful lot of people will be much brighter because of this facility. So in case some of you aren't around for later on, tomorrow is Veterans Day. So I encourage all of you to thank a veteran tomorrow, but let's not wait till Veterans Day to do that. Let's see if we can do that every day. It's really important. And there's not a state in the country with a higher percentage of its citizens who are active duty, reserve, National Guard, veterans, or dependents than Louisiana. There's a lot of ways to define patriotism, and there's a lot of ways to ill-define it too, by the way, and we've seen a lot of that over the last few months. But there's no better definition in my mind for patriotism than what we're seeing here in Louisiana with the concentration of all the people who have actually served our country, one of whom is your mayor. So thank you very much, Adrian Perkins, for serving. God bless each and every one of you.
One of the governor's initiatives has been on veteran resource centers for students in the universities and the community colleges as well. Our Veterans Resource Center opened up in January 2019 when the Board of Supervisors were up here, and it's been a terrific rock for our veterans to have that. As a veteran myself, I wanted to have a Veterans Resource Center, but you challenged us, all of our university presidents, sir, and we answered your charge and put that in. So you can see our Veterans Resource Center, which is right off there to the left as you go back out the door. I now would like to call to the stage interim LSU President Thomas C. Galligan. If you would come forward, Tom. I got to tell you, working with President Galligan has been a really, really wonderful opportunity. He's a real treasure for the state. And I'm on the search committee, and I had to agree that I would be like a juror and not just vote as soon as I was put on it that I want this guy, but I do.
Thank you, Larry, very, very much, but you have to be a juror. Governor, you're a veteran, so I'm going to say thank you to you as my former student, but also thank you to you for everything that you have done in leading our state through 2020 and before. So we really, really appreciate it. So thank you, and thanks to all the veterans. Well, it is always great to be in Shreveport, and I am absolutely thrilled to be with you today to celebrate this important investment in the future of our LSU Shreveport campus, the Shreveport-Bossier City area, and our state. Now, maybe not coincidentally, yesterday, Commissioner Kim Hunter-Reid and I and others participated in a Committee of 100 panel discussion about the future of higher education and how we can strengthen our important relationship with the business community in ways that better prepare our students for successful careers, benefit the private sector, and boost our state's economy. Of course, I couldn't spoil today's announcement yesterday, but this LSUS Cyber Collaboratory and Idea Space are perfect examples of the kind of investment in higher education and cutting-edge technology that can achieve all of those goals. This state-of-the-art learning space will further position the LSUS campus and our students to succeed in the 21st century economy. It will be a tremendous resource for the Shreveport-Bossier City area business community, and it will be a great economic asset for our state. And I don't know if you've seen it yet, but when you tour it, it is really cool. I mean, just this morning, I was at Notre Dame in Paris, looking for the gargoyles. I was in the Grand Canyon, getting a little bit of motion sickness, and I was in the Sistine Chapel, and I will tell you what, it was a lot less crowded than the last time I was there, so I really got to enjoy it. So this is incredible space. It'll be open to corporate partners who will be working hand in hand with LSUS students on real-world industry projects. It will help strengthen our education and workplace development pipeline, and the collaboration that will take place here with K-12 teachers who will be able to access training and to conduct workshops and summer programs for students will further strengthen and deepen that pipeline. So I want to say congratulations to Chancellor Clark and his incredible team for their great leadership and vision, with a particular shout out to Julie Lessiter. So let's hear it for them. And as the governor said, at a time when many colleges and universities across the country are struggling, LSUS is thriving. Enrollment and retention have grown at phenomenal rates because students know that they can get an affordable, world-class education right here that will prepare them for a lifetime of success in virtually any field they choose. The Cyber Collaboratory and Idea Space will provide our students at LSUS with additional opportunities to develop knowledge and skills in highly sought-after fields that will prepare them for in and on-demand careers. I also want to thank Mayors Perkins and Walker, the Shreveport-Bossier City community, and its business leaders for their continued support of LSUS, our students and graduates, and I want to echo Chancellor Clark in sharing our gratitude for LED, Governor Edwards, and all the political leaders with us today for your continued support and investment in LSUS. I look forward to continue working with all of you to continue building upon the great momentum that we have here at LSU Shreveport. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. I'll point out here my lack of introduction.
I got her.
I wanted to point out to him, I was looking for Representative Jefferson to come in, and right below that was Dr. Kim Hunter-Reid, and it's there in yellow to introduce her. They're the Commissioner of Higher Education, which I failed to do, and we love Commissioner Reid and what she's done for this state, and she had the Board of Regents up here for a special meeting not that long ago, the past year. We enjoyed being the host, and so again, as I was looking for Representative Jefferson, there you are in yellow right below there, and you think I could get it right. I apologize. Now, I'd like to bring up, the governor talked about veterans. I would like to bring up two veterans, if our mayors would come forward. The two mayors are Mayor Lowell Walker from Bossier City and Mayor Adrian Perkins from Shreveport. And we're very pleased in particular to have Mayor Walker here because of the fact that Shreveport is in our name, and we're very proud of that. But we serve in this whole region, and we're very, very pleased that Mayor Walker will come over and be a part of this as well. So, gentlemen, if you will, please.
I know I'm not going to be able to win the short speech contest with Mayor Walker beside me, so I'm not even going to try. But really, I just want to say good morning to everybody. Thank you so much for being here with us on this momentous occasion. I also want to thank Chancellor Clark for his outstanding leadership, and also Vice Chancellor Lassiter as well for us to be here for this momentous occasion. And I am so proud to say that we have the fastest growing institution of higher education right here in the city of Shreveport for the 5th year in a row. So let's give ourselves a round of applause for that. That would not be possible without the guests that are here, the elected officials that are here, public officials as well. Thank you for the teamwork in making today possible. We're really, really grateful for you. And a special thanks to our governor and also Secretary Pearson for their investment. I'm always happy to see them in our community when their presence is here, when they're investing in North Louisiana, but I'm especially happy when they come bearing gifts. And the governor's already covered that they are investing over $1 million into the project that we get to celebrate today. When we all work together, we can offer amazing opportunities in our communities. This state-of-the-art learning space will be great for LSU students, faculty, and industry partners. And it's just two particular people I want to highlight with talking about what LSUS means in this community. And that's one, my mentee, Tyson Lee, that's already been spoken about multiple times today for the superstar that he is. I met him on his first year of campus, here on campus, and just to see his growth as a person, as a person all around, and as a student has been incredible to watch. And it just goes to show how important this institution is in a lot of our young people's lives in this community. The second person is my mother. This is my mother's alma mater, and a lot of people don't know this, but my mother would pick me up from school. I went to Arthur Circle, and she would work a full day at SWEPCO, who is also a part of this project, and we would come here for her evening classes, and I would do my homework in like a lounge area here where my mom earned her bachelor's degree. So LSUS has played a huge role in my life and my mother's life. It's playing a huge role in the lives of citizens in Shreveport-Bossier, and I'm just grateful for that. So thank you all for what you've done. Continue to push. Thank you for the invitation, and happy early Veterans Day, and God bless.
I meant every word that he said. But I do want to thank you for your leadership and what you've done for higher education in this community. And I want to thank our governor one more time. I followed his handling of all these crisis situations we've had. There's been nothing like it in our past, and he's done an outstanding job, sir, and we just really appreciate you. Thank all of you.
Thank you, gentlemen. We've been talking about partners. As I said at the outset when I began speaking, one of the partners that we've had is the AEP Foundation working with SWEPCO, and the person who has been representing SWEPCO for us with that is also and she's Director of Communications here for SWEPCO. She also is head of the LSUS Foundation Board. Ms. Carrie Sullivan. Carrie, if you would come up. She's a highly, highly enthusiastic. I love, I think of Julie Lester as having just phenomenal energy and on the go all the time. She matches up anyone on my team. I think we got a team that's pretty amazing, but she's all go, and she's all go, including being on our foundation board, and thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here today, and I can't say enough about LSUS and the great things they've done with the Cyber Collaboratory. The AEP Foundation, which is SWEPCO's part of, gave the seed dollars for this space and for this program. And I can't say how much I appreciate Julie Lassiter for going with me to Columbus, to our headquarters, for a whirlwind tour of AEP to see where we were developing apps to keep our frontline electrical workers safe, our cybersecurity program, as well as the augmented reality work that our transmission folks are doing, and to see it turn up here in the Cyber Collaboratory is just so exciting, and really it is the essence of working with industry and higher education in Louisiana. So thank you so much, Vice Chancellor Lessiter. I just want to also let you know that the Cyber Collaboratory, thanks to a grant from AAP Foundation, printed PPE in March at the beginning of the COVID crisis, at the beginning of the pandemic. And so we really appreciate them stepping up and providing PPE for Northwest Louisiana. SWEPCO has a long history of supporting LSU Shreveport, including an endowed professorship for the LaPrep program, which is starts with middle school students and gets them interested in STEM careers. And I believe it has 100% rate of students who participate going to college.
Phenomenal.
100%. It's just another fantastic thing at LSUS. We are so proud to sponsor many STEM education scholarships here, and Governor, we're so grateful for your additional support for the university. Thank you.
She's amazing. You can see why we're so pleased to have her leadership with our LSUS Foundation. I now would like to call forward LED Secretary Don Pearson. Those of us that are here from the Shreveport-Bossier area know him quite well. He spends more nights in Baton Rouge than he does up here, but we love when you come up here and have a check.
Lisa, Wayne, Tim, Greg, John, great to be home here in North Louisiana and spend some time with you today. This is an exercise in leadership. But really, when we began this, the governor challenged the cabinet to work more collaboratively together. And I took that to heart, but also tried to instill more culture in our state of economic development as a team sport. Teams are better at aggregating resources. That's what you're seeing here today in this cooperative endeavor agreement. Teams are better at leveraging talent, pulling together, making things go right. Teams are an effective and efficient way to get things done. And with that spirit, we have stepped off at LED over the last 5 years. 5 years, Governor, geez. But we're making real progress. A lot of that's driven by these strategic investments that have been committed to campuses across the state, not only in the higher ed system, but the Louisiana Technical and Community College system as well. A really strong commitment by our governor to investing in the people of Louisiana, but more importantly, in an investment in tomorrow, and to making sure there's a pathway and a pipeline that provide well-paying jobs to our citizens. And it's not enough just to make the investment and walk away. We have got to have those educational partnerships that allow us the translation, the formulation, and the ability to deliver against that pipeline. Because indeed, as we compete across the nation, across the globe, workforce is the coin of the realm. If you don't have talented people to do the more technologically advanced jobs of tomorrow, industry is going to find another place to be. Business is going to find another place to be. And our job is to grow a vibrant economy here in Louisiana, to secure great jobs and a great future for our next generation. So we've built those partnerships with LSUS, with Southern, with Louisiana Tech, with ULM, Northwestern, Grambling, all of our technical colleges across the entire system. And our sister departments, the Louisiana Workforce Commission, the Board of Regents, at the local level, in LEP, BRFEAP, certainly the connector to our small businesses, the Shreveport and Bossier Chambers of Commerce and other surrounding chambers help us grow that small business fabric that's so important to the larger growth of this area. Caddo Bossier Port, Bossier Economic Development Foundation, There's a lot of team players here that integrate well with our university systems, our community college systems, and all the other resource providers in this area. So I'm always very pleased when we're able to move together and make some great things happen. So today's again about that leadership exercise that's brought us to this point with this collaborative opportunity before us today. So let's get that check awarded so we can get out of the way, let the educators educate, let the students learn, and build that phenomenal workforce that has such great promise for tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Don. I want to bring Judy Lesser up here just a minute before we do the check. She wrote the grant. She's the guru of this area. Julie, if you'd come forward quickly. I had her on the list. I've done really well. I was looking for the representative, and I skipped over one before you, but if you'll just take a moment to further talk about that.
Thank you. Before I talk about the LAD grant really quickly, I wanted to reiterate about the great facility that we have here. The Cyber Collaboratory has a three-pronged mission. It's K-12, educate students in this region, and then teach the teachers on the latest and greatest emergent technology so that they can then take that back to the K-12 arena as well. Then being able to educate our students, and then being able to partner with industry. And I think that's really important because it's very paramount for us to be able to expose our students to working with industry while they are still in college. And I'd like to thank a couple of our business partners that we have, our industry partners that I see in the audience. We have Russ Mathers with StrikeWorks. We actually have, I'm going to put it in layman's terms, helped prototype a cover for ICBMs that they were having to dig out of 3-inch, 5-inch, 12-inch thick ice storms in North Dakota. We also have the mayor, Brandon Fail, from the city. We've been working on a digital divide project. Keith Hansen's not here today, but boy, when Keith and I get to talking, we brainstorm lots of different projects. So that's a great partnership. And Carrie, as you've heard with AEP SWEPCO, what you can see right here is AR and VR. And I first got to see this when I was up in Ohio. Carrie was kind enough to invite us to their innovation center. And it was really eye-opening what they were doing with training, which is the next wave of training in AR and VR. So they were ahead of the game. And then I'd like to thank Chancellor Garley as well. He sort of lent me his Chief Innovation Officer, Drew Mouton, who helped design a lot of this space. And without Drew, we probably wouldn't have had the extent or the thought process behind everything that we have in here. So again, we've done the PPE printing on our 3D printers. We can do end-to-end prototyping. We're doing smart cities with the city. We're helping with that digital divide. Mayor Walker, I'm sure we could help with the Benton and airline drive traffic flow. Artificial intelligence to help with that. I know a lot of people in this room would love that. So why do I say all of this? This is important when we talk about LED and what LED means to us. So we really appreciate the dollars that they have invested because it is important. We've all seen, particularly now in COVID, that those organizations who have the digital platform or are willing to quickly move to a digital platform have been successful. And I was here a couple of years ago, maybe a year and a half ago, talking with Susie Schowen from our LED, one of our LED partners, and I was talking through our idea space, which is a place where we intentionally teach our students how to problem solve and critically think, right? And that's incredibly important nowadays because with automation, the future of jobs is in creativity. And so we have to teach our students how to think and how to creatively problem solve. So how do we do that in a theoretical perspective and then bring them over here to do it from a hands-on technological learning perspective? And I think that's really, really important when you're looking at particularly this regional job growth because that's going to come from small business enterprise. And so if you have an environment here, we can do end-to-end prototyping. So we have a safe environment where students can practice what I call digital dexterity which is the ability to use technology to improve organizational outcomes, to be able to elevate this region right here with our students in Northwest Louisiana. And that's really, really important when you're looking at economic development and from an educational perspective, because it really is our mission and our moral obligation to prepare our students for a successful career, both in whatever they're doing in their life and with industry and however they move forward, because we are now providing Northwest Louisiana with that opportunity to elevate ourselves through this amazing technology. So thank you to LED for the grant. The grant is essentially talking about how do we infuse technology throughout all of our academic degree programs, not just in the STEM area, that's really, really important. But if you're looking at what we do in virtual reality is built on a gaming or esports platform. And so if you're coming up with app development or app design or anything virtual reality or anything nowadays, no longer are we in our silos. It's interdisciplinary. And so I was actually giving a speech about research and industry the other day and talking about how you're going to now be working with artists, computer scientists, the people in the liberal arts, to be able to think through problems and how to solve those and how to solve them differently and how to solve them with different technologies. And you're going to have people from different disciplines working together on teams. And so essentially that is what the LED grant is going to help us do. And that, I believe, will prepare our students to elevate this region and this state. So thank you.
Thank you. Now will President Galligan, Governor Edwards, Mr. Pearson, and Judy Lester come up in the front here. We have a check for a picture. Judy, why don't you go in the center there? You wrote the grant and be with the governor. Here and Don on either side of you.
Can't go through the drive-thru. You're going to have to take him into the lobby.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you all very much. Thank you all very, very much. We have some of our esports students that are back behind here on the team, and they've been watching. You can see across in that room that you can see us live. We're all around campus. We're on live and social media for this event as well, because we could not bring the students and staff and faculty in here to join us. But again, we have been beaming this out, and the students right behind me have been watching the whole time, and it's been fun for me to be on the side and watching them react. Governor, they were well moved at what you were doing, and if you need supporters to show that you have supporters or people that are of what you're talking about, they were right there for you. Thank you again for everyone. Governor, thank you so much for the fact that you came here. To all of our guests, we are so honored by the Board of Supervisors who would choose to come up here. Thank you for that. And all of you that came out here today, thank you, thank you. We know we can't show you this facility in the way that we'd like to. Contact us. We'll be more than happy to give you your own tour of this facility so you can see some of the amazing, amazing things. But with social distancing, unfortunately, we can't do that with you today, but I hope you will understand. But give us a shout. I would love to do it. Matter of fact, I'd ask Julie to do it. But would love to have you come out here. And we have some students that are just amazing who works over here and does other things on this stuff. They're amazing to be around these students. And so Julie's phenomenal. Others are at it. The students will show you stuff you won't believe if you come back. So I'm serious about that. If you'd like to learn more, come on back. Let us show you. It's a pretty amazing. And so with that, I say to you, thank you for coming out here. And to Tyson Lee and Stone Cox, you're probably our only two students here, but we're thinking of you students all the time and what we're doing. And again, we're honored, and by your being here, you're amazing. You're what we strive for our students to be. So thank you to both of you. Thank you everyone for being here today. Thank you very much. Good day.